Hi, my name is Craig Cavello. Welcome back to my hangar. You can see behind me my beautiful 1965 Cherokee with a pretty good paint job on it that was mistaken one time at Van Nuys Airport for a Cirrus, so I'm very happy about that. I am an instrument-rated pilot. I've been flying about 28 years. I've got about 1,100 hours. I'm not a CFI. I'm just a pilot like some of you are, and I thought I'd use this forum as an opportunity to share some of what I've learned that I think is important, at least in my flying as a VFR and IFR pilot over the last few decades. So wanted to first explain these glasses. I recently got cataract surgery, and I would recommend, there's a new type of lens out there for older pilots is just unbelievable because they can actually adjust the prescription after the surgery. It's called RX Sight. I don't get paid to say this, but I just had it done a few weeks ago, and my vision went down to, or improved, I should say, to 2015. So I've got the eyes of an eagle now. I'm really happy about that. Anyway, that explains the goofy glasses right now. They keep the ultraviolet out until they're done with the adjustments. I wanted to talk about antenna towers for a second. Recently, I was on a flight from Gainesville Municipal here in North Texas to Bridgeport Airport, and it was a VFR day, overcast. I decided to just fly, just straight line down there. But the night before, I just did a little bit of homework as far as what altitude, what my course was going to be, and I took a look on the sectional, and to my surprise, as you can see on the sectional being displayed here, there were three very large, or I should say tall, antenna towers with guy wires, and one of them was almost 3,000 feet, right near the flight path. And I was going to head down there at 3,000 feet. So it was good to have that piece of information before I left instead of just going up and just wandering off. Because on a VFR day, particularly when the cloud cover is there, the cloud cover was probably about 7,000 feet, towers aren't that easy to see sometimes off in the distance. And you don't want to get near them for obvious reasons. And you can't see the guy wires at all. And even when you see a large tower off in the distance, if you take your scan away and look at the inside the cockpit and look outside again and look around at the terrain and try to find that antenna again, you'd be surprised how sometimes you don't see it and you say, where did it go? And then you say, oh, there it is off to the right, right in front of me. So it was uneventful going down to Bridgeport and landed, talked to a guy in a Vans RV down there. We had some flying stories to swap. Got back in the plane, came back, was expecting the towers again that were about midpoint between Bridgeport and Gainesville. And I looked down, I have an iPad in the plane that has ADS-B in traffic information, which I think is just invaluable these days. I recommend anybody that doesn't have it, get it. It's not expensive. But I noticed that there was some VFR traffic at 3,000 feet, my altitude, within, I would say, about 2 miles. And it shows a trajectory about where they're headed, and he was heading towards me, or she was heading towards me. I don't know who was flying it. We weren't talking on the radio. So I made a turn to try to adjust my flight path, and the airplane must have been maneuvering this other airplane because every time I made a turn, it seemed like I couldn't shake this airplane from being on a direct course with me. And it started to get me a little bit concerned. So I ended up doing a right 270 and staring at the screen in the cockpit. And as I look up, I noticed on the screen, oh, there's that antenna that's in front of me, but it looks pretty far away. And then when I looked up out of the windscreen in the real world, you could see that I was just way too close to where I wanted to be, and I was headed right towards it. And I would say it was probably about 1.5 miles off. But if you're moving along at 100 knots, that goes by pretty quick. So I made another right turn, got back on my course line, and got away from it. And the reason I wanted to make this video today is that I have a friend that has an agricultural spraying business at another hangar just up the row here. And he was telling me about a story where he actually hit an antenna one time with the bottom of his wing. I think he's lucky to be here. And of course, that kind of flying is much more dangerous because they're so low to the ground. But my point is, towers are hard to see. Sometimes, if you look at the NOTAMs, you'll see that they're unlit, out of service. With all of the tools at our disposal today as aviators, there's no reason not to know if something is there or not. So do your homework and know where you're going, and have an idea, a good mental picture about what to expect when you're up in the air as well as when you're approaching your destination airport, about the type of entry you're going to make, what runway you're going to land on, all of that. Is it near a golf course? Where is it in position to a nearby town? So that you get a good mental picture of what to expect when you arrive. And the same applies to things en route. If there are antennas or other obstacles or mountains, have an idea of where they are so that when you get into that situation and then you get distracted because of something unexpected like this other pilot that was flying around, you'll be able to cope with it and it won't turn into an emergency. So just wanted to share that with you today. Hope you liked the video, and maybe I'll make another one soon. Thanks.